Hello, my friends. I am currently on my second pot of tea in case I seem a little bit low energy. Our morning was off to a rough start. I was woken by, I'm just looking down at Pi. I was woken by a call at 4 a.m. this morning that Pi is being rushed to the emergency room. He wasn't staying with me, he was staying with his other dad. And throughout the night, he had gone through the trash and must have gotten into something that he wasn't supposed to, and he was sick all night. So he was rushed to the emergency room. Thankfully, he's all good. Nature did what it was supposed to do, and he is all good now. The vet looked at him, they made sure that he was fully healthy and there wasn't anything stuck in his little tummy, and there isn't. So he's back with me now. He's been back with me since like 6 a.m. I think his other dad dropped him off at like 6:30. So we have been together for the past couple of hours, and I'm keeping an eye on him, but he seems to be fine. His appetite is back, not that it was ever gone, but he is eating, he's drinking, he's very playful, and he's currently taking a nap on my feet. Thankfully, I don't have to go anywhere today because yesterday was my last day of classes. So I'm going to be home with him. I was supposed to run a couple of errands today, but I think I'm just going to postpone those because I do want to spend the day with him. And then if he's all good, I'll go to the gym in the evening. But since I'm going to be home anyway, I thought I could film an unboxing for you. This is something that I have been talking about. It's not going to be a huge luxury unboxing, but there are a couple of gifts that I want to share with you that I recently picked up for some people in my life that I thought you might want to see. I have my pants back from Hermes, which, long story short, things did not go quite as smoothly as planned. So one of the pants will actually have to go back to the tailor, but I'll tell you all about it. I wanted to show you these pants because one of them is a runway piece. It's a really, really special take on a simple traditional pair of tuxedo pants. So if you are into your tailoring pieces as much as I am, this could be a really fun contemporary take on a traditional piece. And then I also have the Senghor mom pants to show you, which are classic from Hermes. It's something that you can buy every single season in different colors and different fabrics. And I also have a new bag that I want to share with you. This might be, I think it is my first bag from this brand. I'm not even sure if I have ever bought anything from this brand. I think I might have bought a couple pieces of ready to wear at one point, but I don't even know if I still have them because I think I might have decluttered those when I moved into this apartment 2 years ago. So this is my first purchase from this brand in a really long time, and it is an amazing alternative to the Row Margaux bag. Obviously, the Row Margaux bag has been all the craze. I just talked about the Margaux effect in my last vlog. If you have not seen that, I'll make sure to have it linked up here. But obviously, the Margaux has been dubbed as a more affordable alternative to the Hermes Birkin, and people have been calling it an heirloom piece, which I do agree with. It is an incredibly understated, sophisticated, elegant tote that, if you invest in, it's a piece that will never go out of style. However, it is incredibly expensive. It has been getting more and more expensive. It's been getting more and more difficult to get. It's quite a heavy bag. So brands obviously have been coming out with their own take on an oversized tote bag. And I think this might be one of the best alternatives I have ever seen because it still feels like an original bag. You can definitely tell that it is inspired by these larger bowling bag style totes, but it does have the brand's own twist to it. So the brand that it is made by has reinterpreted it in a way that feels authentic to them, which I do appreciate. I am blown away by the quality, by the structure, by the craftsmanship, by the leather that they chose to use, especially for the price. If you are into larger tote bags, this is not one you want to miss. I bought it thinking that I may or may not like it, but I did not expect to love it as much as I do and to be so impressed by it because, as I mentioned, it's a brand that I never really bought anything from before. Their pieces always felt a little bit cheap to me in terms of the quality, so I was really impressed by this piece, and I think you will be too. Maybe I'll also film a reel today on this bag if I'm going to be home anyway, because I do want to share it with a lot of people out there, especially if you have some trips coming up. It is a tote that comes in two different sizes, but I do prefer the larger of the two. Anyway, I should stop rambling and just get into the unboxing. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get ready for the day, and I'll see you back here in an hour or two with all the new pieces that I picked up from Hermes and, believe it or not, Jacquemus. So if you'd like to see the latest additions to my collection and get some luxury gift ideas, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and keep on watching. You had a rough night, didn't you? But you gave us a heart attack. You gave your daddy and your lab a heart attack, huh? You gave us a heart attack. We were so nervous. My baby, how are you? My friends, it's actually a few hours later. It's taken me a little bit longer to gather my strength than expected. If you hear some noise, that's because Pi is taking a nap on me currently. I just really don't want to leave him alone, even though he's doing perfectly fine. We've been on plenty of walks. He's had lunch. He's drinking a lot. He's very playful and very energetic. So he should be all good, but I still don't want to leave him on his own. Right, my baby? But you have to promise to be good. You cannot keep distracting me. You cannot keep distracting me. But you can, of course, nap on me, my baby. Anyway, sorry guys. What I forgot to tell you in the introduction is that I can also share with you some pieces that I bought in the Black Friday sales. Now, I didn't really buy anything luxury, but I know some of you enjoy hearing about some of my lifestyle purchases. So I thought let's start with those. First and foremost, I did place a couple of orders on Aloe. As some of you may remember, Aloe is my favorite brand. I pretty much live in Aloe. Whenever I'm not here filming for you, I wear Aloe. So I did stock up on some of the things that I wear over and over again. You know, when it comes to activewear, it doesn't matter how well they are made. You have to wash them really often so they don't last forever. I'm trying to think if I bought anything new from Aloe. I don't think I did, other than a couple of tank tops. You may remember that I wore a white tank top in one of my recent vlogs. That was from Aloe, that's new. I'm not a big fan of that style, but some of my favorites that I repurchased, I did buy a new yoga towel because they did have 30% off across the site. So I wanted to pick up a yoga towel. This is what I use whenever I go to a studio and I don't work out at home. Instead of carrying an entire yoga mat, most studios, you can just take a yoga towel too, so you're not directly on someone else's yoga mat or the yoga mat that everyone else uses. I do think that the Aloe yoga mats are the best. They have the best grip. They come in a ton of really fun colors. I, of course, went for the black one. I have one currently that I've had for a handful of months and it's still in great shape, but it's definitely not as grippy as it once was. Just because I usually do hot yoga, I have to wash my yoga towel after every single use, and the more you wash them, the quicker they lose their grip. So I thought I would buy one more of these since I know I'll need a fresh one eventually. And then my favorite set for working out, this is what I wear for everything across the board. This is what I wear to the gym. This is what I wear to reformer, yoga, running, whatever it is. I know that this is a set that I can rely on. I have it in almost every single color, but of course black is what I wear most often. So I did pick up a fresh pair of my favorite shorts, which are the 5-inch Adapt running shorts. I'm not sure why I'm looking at it. I should know this by heart. So these are the 5-inch Adapt running shorts. I do have an entire video sharing with you my favorite pieces from Aloe, which I can make sure to link up here. And I will also make sure to link these shorts and this entire set in the info box. But these are my favorite shorts. They are lined, and I don't usually like lined shorts, but the lining in these is very comfortable. They have the most flattering fit. They are not too baggy, but not overly tapered either. I love the length. I really just love everything about these shorts. So if you're looking for the perfect more high-end activewear shorts, I would highly encourage you to get the Adapt running shorts. Those are my favorite, my tried and true. And then the tank top that I wear with those is the Conquer tank. They are technically not in the same collection, but I do think that they are the best combination. I have tried several different styles of tank tops from Elo, but the Conquer are my favorite. They are slightly more expensive, but I feel that they last really well. Similar to the shorts, they are quite flattering. They come in a huge range of different colors, and they are the ones that I always go back to. So I picked up a couple of these just because I wear these so much, and I figured I might as well get them while they are 30% off. So those were a great purchase. Moving on to some beauty bits, I did pick up a new cleanser from Fenty. I do love the Fenty cleanser. I'm not the biggest fan of the Fenty skincare line, but her cleansers I really enjoy. So I bought a couple of her cleansers, and I also bought the little travel size version of it just because it is a great cleanser, especially if you wear as much sunscreen as I do and you like to double cleanse. That is a great cleanser to rely on because you don't actually need two different cleansers. You can just wash your face twice with the same cleanser, and it gets rid of every single bit of sunscreen without drying your skin, because I have incredibly sensitive skin. As you can probably tell, I am still a little bit frostbitten from our lunch walk. So I did buy a few of those cleansers from Fenty. Again, I think they had something like 30% off. And then the last things that I picked up in terms of beauty things are from Space NK. Again, I think they had like 25 or 30% off, something that I got as a gift. I actually got a couple of these just because I have a couple of Christmas parties and Christmas dinners coming up, so I never like to show up empty-handed, and I thought that these would make a great gift. So I picked up a couple of the Space NK Shimmering Spice scented candles. It's something that Space NK has been doing for years. They come out with this every single holiday season. The only thing that changes is the packaging. So this year it has this sort of star, what do they call it, this cosmic aesthetic. This year it has a more cosmic aesthetic when it comes to the overall packaging, but the scent is always the same. I think they call this a unique cozy cinnamon, cedar, and allspice scent. To me, it is a lot more citrusy than spicy. The first burst that you get from this is definitely orange, so it has more of a citrusy impact. I currently have one on my dining table. Personally, it's not a candle that I would ever burn because I don't really like the scent when it's burning, but I love it when it's just set on a dining table or a coffee table because it is so strong. It really fills your home with this really soft, sort of citrusy, slightly spicy scent. So it is just really festive, and I do think it's universally flattering. It's not a very particular candle, so I know I can take this to anyone's home because it just goes with anyone's aesthetic and anyone's home. So I picked up a couple of the single wick versions, and I also grabbed one of the larger ones. Well, actually I got two of these, one as a gift and then one as a centerpiece for my dining table, but again, it's not something that I would personally light. And then last but not least, the last thing that I picked up at Space NK, I also stocked up on my deodorant. My favorite designer deodorant is a Drunk Elephant Sweet Pity Deodorant Cream, which is a natural deodorant that relies on exfoliating acids, which is great. I don't think it's strong enough to use this on its own, but at night I use a regular deodorant, and then when I wake up in the morning, I just use a little bit of this. I am an evening shower person, so I'll take a shower in the evening, and I don't actually shower in the morning unless I go to the gym right away. Obviously, if I go to the gym first thing, I'll take a shower there, and then I use this. Otherwise, I just use this while I'm applying my skincare, and it smells great, it does the job, but I don't think it would be strong enough on its own, at least not for me. And I think that's everything that I picked up that wasn't designer. Now moving on to a couple of gifts that I bought at Hermes. The first thing again is a beauty related item, which is the new Powder 24 Faubourg Face and Eye Illuminating Powder. So it's basically a highlighter, but it has the most beautiful Faubourg boutique inspired print. I got this as a gift, not for myself, but for a friend of mine. And the reason is that Hermes was actually doing engraving, so they were able to engrave a little message onto the mirror for her. So I thought that was a really sweet touch. I put in a picture or a little video of what the highlighter looks like because it is really quite beautiful. And of course, it is inspired by the theme of the year, which is celebrating 100 years of Faubourg. and that's why you have the Faubourg Boutique's emblem or its facade printed onto the highlighter. So I thought that was a sweet little gift, and it also looks beautiful. I'm not sure about the color. I don't wear highlighter, so I cannot tell you anything about the formula itself, but it looked beautiful. It only comes in one color, which is rose gold, but I think it would make for a beautiful gift. And then something else that I bought, which I was kind of tempted by myself. I really quite like the sound and the look of it, and it is the Olympia ear cuff. It's not something... Bowie, where are you going? Sorry guys, it is very distracting filming with Pi by my side. What was I saying? I also bought an ear cuff, which is something I was also tempted by myself. It is from the Olympia collection, so it's inspired by the same H motif as things like the Click H bracelet, which the Click H bracelet I own too. I'm not a fan of it. I wasn't really a big admirer of the Olympia collection either until I found out about this cuff, which you actually don't have to pierce your ears for. It just slides onto your ear in a really cool way. It's kind of like you have to put it on top of your earlobe and then it slowly slides down. It comes in a few different shades and it comes with different leather details. So you have the Olympia cuff, which I think they do either in gold or palladium, and then it comes with either Epsom boxed leather, an Epsom or a boxed leather inlay, or it also comes with a touch of lizard. I don't think I could personally pull it off, but the person I got it for, I think it's going to look amazing on. It's already been gifted, but I put in some pictures here for you. I thought that was a really cool design and it wasn't too expensive. I think I paid 300 euros for that piece, which I thought was really fair for a piece of jewelry, especially considering how much statement that piece would make. And then last but not least, before we move on to the bag, let's finally touch on these Hermes trousers, which I have been talking about for weeks, it feels like at this point. So I had two pairs of pants tailored at Hermes, one that I bought earlier this year, which are the so-called Saint Gourmand pants. If you are familiar with Hermes' tailoring, you will know about the Saint Gourmand suit, which is Hermes' most classic take on a matching suit set. They offer the Saint Gourmand both blazer and trousers in their custom collection, so their made-to-measure collection, but they also do them as part of their seasonal commercial collection, but they will only do them in select fabrics and colors, so it changes what they offer them in each and every single season. And as you know, Hermes rarely does black, so I was really pleasantly surprised to find them. I keep saying that I bought them earlier this year, but I'm not sure if I did. I don't know if I bought them earlier this year or late last year. Don't quote me on it. A little while ago, I was very pleasantly surprised to find them in black, but they did not have them available in the right size. They only had them in a size 40, even though I'm a size 38 when it comes to Hermes. So I bought them in a 40, we had them tailored, they did not come out perfect, so I recently had them retweaked and they're a lot better now. The reason I'm mentioning them here is because if you are looking for a very classic, traditional pair of trousers from Hermes, the Saint Gourmand is a style that you want to look into, both when it comes to trousers and a blazer. And then the other pair of trousers that I picked up are actually part of the runway collection, and I pre-ordered those when I had the chance just after the runway show. Now, something that I don't want to use the word annoyed by because that would be an overstatement, but something that's been going on these past few years, every single year I pre-order something from the runway in terms of ready to wear. My orders never arrive. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I don't know if my boutique just doesn't place an order on my behalf, or if their orders get rejected. Now, when it comes to Hermes ready-to-wear and buying things at the podium, especially ready-to-wear, it is quite complicated. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on. It has not been clear to me every time I ask. You know, more of an issue for me isn't the fact that these pieces don't arrive, but that I don't know whether they will come in or not. And I'm not sure if my boutique does either. But when it comes to buying things at the podium, at least ready-to-wear, it is quite complex because usually boutiques are not allowed to buy just a single piece. If they're ordering a piece, they usually have to order the look and not just a single look, but it will usually have to be ordered in several different sizes. And they also have to match the color scheme. Each season, Hermes offers 4 or 5 different color schemes, which are important to consider for merchandising. And if you're buying not as a flagship store, but as a different store. If you're buying into a look, usually they will want you to buy the matching color scheme. And if it doesn't go with the boutique's aesthetic and what other people are requesting, it can be quite hard to place an order for a single look depending on where you shop. And I usually ask for quite specific pieces. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Long story short, I have not been able to get the ready-to-wear pieces I wanted these past few seasons, which is perfectly fine. Don't think that I'm losing sleep over this. But at the same time, I wish I was kept in the loop a little bit more. Anyway, long story short, I ordered these pants and the matching top from the full winter runway. My order never came in, but there was thankfully one pair of these trousers out there in Paris in my size, in size 38. And even though my boutique told me to manage my expectations, because it is unlikely that the Faubourg, I think it was the Faubourg boutique in Paris, it is unlikely that if they only have one, they would be willing to send it, but somehow they arrived. So I was able to get these pants, which are a really fun take on a traditional pair of tuxedo pants. So they are made of black wool, and then they feature this really cool silky belt band. It doesn't actually come with belt loops, or there's no way for you to put a belt in it. Instead, it has kind of like a built-in silk belt, which is actually inspired by the double tour bracelets that Hermes offers, which, as you know, I am a big fan of. I wish I could also get the matching top, but I don't think the top actually made it into production, so I will have to wear one of my many sleeveless cashmere tops. Anyway, I was able to get these trousers. We had them tailored because obviously they were slightly too big, but they made them a little bit too small around my butt and thighs, so now I cannot sit down in them. So I'm actually going to be going back to Hermes later this week to have them retailored, but I'll make sure to put in the mugshot here for you just so you can see it. If you do love a pair of tailored trousers, these I would highly encourage you to look into, because there's something just really beautiful about them, especially if they fit you perfectly. It is a pair of beautifully cut and fitted pair of trousers. They're quite expensive. I think they were just under €1,000, but I know that these are the things that I can truly wear and get my money's worth out of. So that was a great purchase, but it still needs a little bit more tweaking. I feel like it is a full-on trouser gate here, because we have been talking about these trousers for ages. I hope I'll also be able to hunt down the top, but as I mentioned, I doubt that it actually made it into production because I have not seen it. Let me go ahead and unbox this bag, and then I'll tell you all about it. I'll tell you how and why I ended up with this piece. But it is a bag from, believe it or not, Jacquemus. It is my very first Jacquemus bag. I don't really have anything against or for Jacquemus bags. I know that they're incredibly popular, but I just really find most of them quite cheap looking, which is why I have never invested in one of their bags. I told you I would unbox this and then tell you about it. So let me go ahead and do that. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the newly launched, I think it just launched last week maybe, or a couple of weeks ago. This is the so-called Jacquemus Turismo bag, which is very clearly inspired by the Row Margaux bag. I'll go ahead and do some mugshots for you. I also want to do a dedicated reel on this bag, so you get to see this up close and personal, because as you can tell, it is quite a large bag, and I don't think you will be able to see it in all its glory, but it is a large bowling bag shape that features two handles, and it's available in two different sizes. This being the larger one. It's currently available in 3 different colors in the larger size, in this incredibly soft, supple, buttery grain skin, which honestly is quite comparable to Hermes, which is shocking considering how much I paid for this bag. Don't get me wrong, this bag is not inexpensive, but compared to a Margaux bag, even a Loewe bag, or definitely an Hermes bag, it is quite reasonable, because this bag, I think in the US is just under $1,800, and then in Europe, I believe it's just under 1,400 euros, and it is an extremely similar shape to the Margaux, but What I appreciate about this is that it still feels like an original bag. I don't feel that it's trying to be something that it's not. Obviously, it is inspired by one of the most trendy shapes, but the Margaux shape isn't that original either, considering that it was inspired by the Birkin bag. In case you did not notice, the Olsen twins, who are the founders of the Row, have been huge fans of Hermes and old Celine, so Phoebe Philo's work, and a lot of their first pieces were actually inspired by their very own collection of Hermes and old Celine pieces. So the Margaux actually pays tribute to their collection of Birkin and Kelly bags. And, you know, there's nothing new under the sun, but the Margaux success obviously inspired pretty much every single luxury brand to come out with their own version of it. Some are better than others, but I really like this one from Jacquemus because I do think that it stands on its own. What I really liked about it was the actual little knot detail, how the strap is actually attached to the bag with this cute little knot, which is very Jacquemus in that it's quite playful and quirky, but it also reminded me of Bottega slightly, similar to the Margaux bag, if that's what we're going to compare it to. It features two top handles, a similar bowling bag style shape. However, it is significantly less expensive. It is also lighter, but it's not lighter in a way that would make this bag feel cheap. Instead, it's just lighter in a way that makes it more comfortable to use because the Margaux bag can be quite heavy. And as you may remember, I have been looking at the Margaux for many years. I've been familiar with the Margaux since it first launched. I never really considered it. In hindsight, I wish I had, because I remember the Margaux constantly going on sale at Barney's. I remember they used to make it in alligator and croc. Was it in croc or alligator, or maybe both? I remember them doing the large Margaux in this beautiful matte exotic skin, which I want to say must have been croc. And it used to be like 50-60% off in the seasonal Barney sales, and I so wish I had jumped on it back then. I didn't. I did not want to spend the money on it. I was quite new to Hermes at the time, so I was saving for building my Hermes collection. Anyway, what was I saying? What I wanted to say here is that I looked at the Margaux a few years later. You may remember that I did a vlog on going to London to get a Margaux bag just before it really blew up. And I didn't feel that the quality was where it should have been for me to be able to justify the price, but I do think it has been getting better and better. Obviously, the Row is a contemporary brand, so they're constantly improving and evolving. So I do think that the quality has been getting better, but their bags are known for being quite weighty. This one isn't, but similar to the Margaux, it also features these little side details. Instead of them having full-on buckles, they just have this little side sort of string that keeps the bag together, which gives these bags a really casual, laid-back look while also keeping them streamlined. I think these buckle details are the reason these bags don't just melt into a puddle of leather. But two big improvements compared to the Margaux are the fact that this one not only features a zip closure, the Margaux doesn't, it is a completely open style tote, but it also comes with a magnetic closure on top. So if you don't want to fully open and close your bag, you still have the magnet on top. And I like the fact that the handles on this bag are longer than they are on the Margaux, which means that you can comfortably carry them over your shoulder, even if you're wearing thicker layers. So if you are wearing a jacket or a thick coat and a sweater, you can still really comfortably put this over your shoulder. So I am a big fan of this bag. And if you're looking for a large and in charge workhorse tote bag, something that is going to get beaten up, you might not want to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on it, in which case this would be a great investment piece. This is something that you can definitely use for traveling, but you can really easily use this on a daily basis. My most used bag this year, believe it or not, is my Lululemon gym bag. And this kind of has a similar look and feel to it. Obviously, just 1,000 times more elevated because of the fact that it's made of leather, because of the construction, and also it's not just made of leather, but it's made of a beautiful, soft, scratch-resistant leather, which I really appreciate. So I have to be honest with you, I did not know what to expect. I saw this bag on my Instagram, I kept seeing an ad for this bag. And at first I did not even realize it was a Jacquemus bag. I just kept seeing this. I put in a picture here. I remember taking a screenshot of it. I kept seeing this ad pop up, and it was only after seeing it a couple of times that I realized that it was actually a Jacquemus ad. So I went ahead, ordered online, did not know what to expect, especially considering the price, considering how accessibly priced it was compared to other designer houses. Of course, it's still an expensive bag, which I am fully aware of, but compared to other bags, other luxury bags, I thought it was reasonably priced, and it just blew me away. I am really impressed by the quality, by the size, by the construction, and that little knot detail I do really enjoy. So if you have always loved the idea and the shape of the Margaux bag, but you did not want to jump on the bandwagon, if it's not something that you wanted to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on, this would be a great alternative. Or regardless of how you feel about the Margaux, I do think it is a style that stands on its own. So if you're looking for a larger tote bag that will fit a ton, that will be your companion throughout life, these would be a good one to check out. As I mentioned, they do come in 2 different sizes. This one being the larger one. I think the smaller size they might do in different finishes and more colors. But I think if you're going to go for this, depending on your proportions, you kind of want to make it effortlessly oversized, because that's the whole point of it. If you are really into the whole Jane Birkin over accessorizing trend, it's a bag that can also take quite a bit of accessorizing, and you can play around with the back charms and different things. I don't think I'm going to do that, but it is certainly a bag that I feel most of us would get a ton of use out of, as long as you have the need for a larger tote bag. But honestly, I am just really impressed, as you can probably tell. I actually just got a glimpse of this bag in the camera, and honestly, it looks like $1,000,000. It looks so much more expensive than it actually is. So yeah, I should probably stop going on and on about how much I like this bag, considering that I have not even taken it out yet, but honestly, I have really high hopes for it. Please let me know in the comment section what you think about this bag, what you bought in the Black Friday sales. I cannot wait to hear from you. I'm going to go ahead and hang out with my little sleepy bear, and then I think I'm going to go to the gym because he seems to be fine. But I really appreciate you being here and watching. It is going to be one of the last videos of the year. I think I might do one more vlog because so many of you have been enjoying my vlogs. So I might do one more vlog. I'll try. I don't want to make any promises because I have my exam coming up next week. So I want to be fully dedicated to that. Then I'm leaving to Spain, but I'll try my best to squeeze in one more vlog before the year ends. But if I don't see you before Christmas, I hope you have the most spectacular holiday season, whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I just hope you have the most amazing festive season and you get to spend it with your loved ones. I really appreciate you being here and watching, and I want to say a big thank you for all your support that you have shown me throughout the year, and I cannot wait to see you back here with a new video really, really soon, hopefully sooner rather than later.